There's a certain rawness to this place. Freezing waters that race over boulders. Stark, bare granite slopes that have been forged by the migrations of the ancient glaciers. Icebergs that wander the fjords until they inevitably become one with the roads that they have traveled. Centuries of years ago, the native people of this land began to fish the rivers and forage the bushes, making a home for themselves in this ancient ecosystem. Now, years later, this unforgiving domain has been tamed enough to allow anybody with a plane ticket and the love of outdoors to experience the beauty that is I've been looking forward to making a video on Alaska for so long. I mean, this is the most beautiful state I've ever seen. So armed with all my camera gear, I set out to do just that. 55 to 200 millimeter lens, my field recorder for crisp audio, filters, my instant shoot camera, my camera strap, which I of course put out of frame, and my rain protector, which is also out of frame, my GoPro for awesome underwater shots, my 15 to 45 millimeter lens, my chest mounted GoPro, which did not fit in the thing, and my Fujifilm camera. Wait, how am I filming this right now? So after taking a very informative tour of the local town of Juneau, we had set out on the boat, a crew of 4, and were immediately blessed with some whales. Don't worry, there's many more to come, I assure you. The boat was just fantastic, and the food as well, even better. I mean, the chef here was incredible. Our first night was a salad with chicken, and just every single meal was just unbelievable. I mean, the breakfast was my personal favorite because I'm a breakfast guy. But like these egg quiches here, oh my god, so good. So while we were underway, I was getting a lot of B-roll out the windows, just trying to see what kind of cool shots I could get. But the coastline of Alaska is just so beautiful. I mean, I love the clouds, and seeing icebergs just floating by your boat was crazy. We were going into this fjord, which had these huge towering walls, and I cannot describe to you how big they were. I mean, it is insane. Waterfalls, of course, there were so many waterfalls everywhere. I have so many videos of waterfalls backed up into my camera. I mean, look at that too. Look at the way the water's rolling up that rock. So cool. And that's not even the coolest one we saw on the whole trip. Now, this iceberg though was the coolest one I saw. It's a shame that the rest of the footage I got looks like this. I call myself a filmmaker. But we got on the boat, the smaller boat, and then headed towards a glacier. I got this really cool shot through a crab pot of the mountain, but this glacier was so incredible. I mean, the ice was so blue. You see that color? Of course, the little shutter speed change in the middle of the clip. And on the way back, we saw some seals just on the icebergs. They were so cute. This one was a pregnant seal. So on the way back, we also went under a waterfall, which was pretty cool, actually. And then back on the coast. I mean, I love the way this fog sits on the trees and just kind of soaks everything in. It's pretty inviting. I would love to be in that forest, and I'd love to hike in Alaska. Like, I didn't get to do a lot of it, but I would love to sometime. Then some more whales showed up, and if you see on the left there, we got a little baby breach, which was awesome. I've never seen one of those before. Even cooler though, we got a huge breach. That was like a mile away, and my 200mm lens was having some trouble, so I had to help it. And then when we docked for the night, we set some crab pots, and I had the idea of putting my GoPro in it. And it was a good idea, you know? In theory, it would work, and it kind of did for a little bit, you know? I threw it in the bait section of the crab pot with all the shrimp, and it moved around a little bit, but we hit the floor eventually, and we kind of just sat there for a while, chilling. And I thought, this would be fine. But for whatever reason, around the time that a jellyfish passed, right about here, the crab pot moved. I think we had readjusted it on the boat for some reason, but every time the thing moved, my GoPro kept getting knocked down further and further into the shrimp, and then eventually, when we landed again, the thing just rolled over and just fell straight onto the bottom of the thing. So now, this is the view that we got for the rest of the footage. Just darkness. Just darkness, 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 except for a tiny little sliver of the yellow cage, which isn't even that yellow because we're kind of deep down. So, that was a fail, but at least we saw a jellyfish. And then I made this cool transition with some masking. I've been learning DaVinci and, just trying to see what I can do, and I thought it was pretty cool. While we were out kayaking as well, we got some glacier ice to use in our stuff, and that's me slipping as I'm running to the front of the boat to take videos of, I hope I don't butcher this, Dallas porpoise? Maybe? They look like dolphins and orcas together, which were super cool. And then we spent the day in a temperate rainforest, and I learned apparently that the temperate rainforest of Alaska is the largest surviving temperate rainforest on the planet. The root network of all the trees is actually interconnected by a colony of mycelium, which allows them to share resources and communicate underground. And I was told that if I had come about 30 days later, there would be edible mushrooms everywhere, and it's a very good place to forage, apparently. But after that, we hit the road again, or hit the sea, I guess, and we went into the cove where I got the opening shot for this video, and saw the coolest waterfall I've ever seen. I mean, I was trying to pan up and show this whole thing, but it kept going. This is a beautiful piece of nature right here. And then Mr. Blue Sky said hi for a little bit because we'd had a lot of cloud cover. And then we went to the Barnoff Springs. I don't know why they're called warm springs instead of hot springs, because they were hot. They were like 104, 105 degrees. But this place was just beautiful. They had their own little waterfall too. I say little, you can see that it's quite big actually. That ran right next to the hot springs. But I mean, this place is beautiful. It is just so peaceful, except the hot springs smell like sulfur. Then, the day after that, I saw a bear, and this was me from the boat. Unfortunately, did not get that close, but I got a video. And then I had to sneak some more bald eagles in here, I mean, I had wanted to photograph a bald eagle this entire trip, and I'm so glad I got to do that. We went fishing in this river, which is where I saw the bald eagles. I caught a couple fish, and mostly just messed around in the waders because I love standing in the water. It's such a nice place to fish. Fishing is underrated, in my opinion. Then on the way back, we saw this huge brown bear. Then, to cap off the trip, a 5-mile hike at Sea Lion Cove. So it was a trail that went up to a river and then to the beach, and on the beach we saw something, and it turned out to be a dead sea lion. And honestly, it was a pretty sobering end to the hike. But when I looked at him, I noticed that he had no mortal wounds on him, and I think he just crawled up here when it was his time and passed away peacefully. So it was sobering, but it was a nice end. It was a peaceful end for him, and it was a peaceful end for my trip.